Welcome Exiles, now it's time to show you full leveling guide for my Cyclone Ice Spear Occultist in Lake of Kalandra. The main advantage of this build is super simple and comfortable gameplay. You just need to click Cyclone and everything will die around you. And how build works? You are using your Cyclone, making critical strikes, and these critical strikes from physical hits trigger skills what you put into your gear. For an example, I using Ice Spear as a main damage skill and Freezing Pulse and Creeping Frost in my CoC Prismaliced sword. And as always, I've made unique leveling skill tree for almost each 10 levels, so you will not miss anything important in your progress. In Ascendancy Skills there is only one way to make it right, but you need the right order. First of all, we need to take White Beacon, then Frigid Wake. When you respec into Cyclone setup, you need to take Forbidden Power for improving your power charges amount and damage. And the last will be Malediction, which gives us additional curse and malediction. Also, I've made skill gem setups for each period of time for this build. In the first act, we need to use Freezing Pulse, improving it with Arcane Surge and added cold damage. Take Clarity for mana regeneration, Frost Blink for movement and Frost Bomb for solo targets. And after Brutus, we need to take Lesser Multiple Projectiles gem for better clearing speed. In the second act, we using the same gems, but we added Herald of Ice Aura and Wave of Conviction for decreased enemies' resistances. In the 3rd to 5th act, we added Hatred Aura, which increase our Freezing Pulse cold damage. And from the 6th act to the end of the game, we need to use Freezing Pulse with Arcane Surge, cold damage, GMP, Inspiration and increased critical strikes for the future Cyclone setup. Also now we can buy Vortex with Bone Chill and Unbowed Ailments. Also we will use Frost Blink for movement, Sniper's Mark with Mark on hit support, Immortal Call first level gem with cast when damage taken. From auras I recommend Clarity, Herald of Ice, Hatred and Discipline. After acts we can respec into our main skill, Cyclone. For this we just need 6 Link Body Armor and of course CoC Prismaliced and Prism Guardian will be necessary. So we will use Freezing Pulse, Creeping Frost and Onslaught support in our CoC Prismaliced, and all of these skills will be active all the time. Cyclone setup looks like this: Cyclone, cast on Critical Strike, Ice Spear, GMP, Inspiration and increased Critical Strike support. Also we will use Vortex with Bone Chill and Unbowed Ailments, Frost Blink for movement, Sniper's Mark with Mark on hit support. From auras we will use Clarity, Precision, Herald of Ice and Grace. In Prism Guardian we need to put Zealotry, Hatred and Discipline gems, and also Immortal Call with cast when damage taken. In the Ultra endgame we need to buy all gems with those alternate quality, you can check them in the pop. Also I added skitter boards in the endgame setup because we got enough mana for it, but it's not necessary in my opinion. And I've made gear setups for leveling, early, mid and ultra endgame. I can't say anything about leveling gear, you just can use everything that you want to, but items from this section will be perfect for acts. So if it's not your first character, you can buy all of this stuff. In the early game gear we need CoC Prismaliced, Prism Guardian and Coruscating Elixir. When you got at least these 3 items you can be sure that your Cyclone setup will work. In the mid game we need to buy 6 Link Body Armor, Chevron Wrappings for not using Coruscating Elixir anymore. Also Presence of Chayula will be must-have on this build too. From the flasks we are swapping Coruscating Elixir for Dying Sun. And on this moment we can buy a Natural Instinct Jewel. In the endgame we need to buy all rare strong items from the list, also we can buy Bottled Face Flask, but the main expensive items will be Cluster Jewels for our build, Watcher's Eye, Freed of Hope with Large Ring and Militant Face Jewel. In Ultra endgame setup we can change our crown for a rare Blizzard crown. All unique items will be with a strong enchants and corruptions. We can use Mage Blood on this setup and it will make your build incredible. Also, this final gear setup is very strong and you can produce more than 100 million damage without any problems. From the bandits, I choose to kill them all for 2 skill passive 3 points. In the Pantheon, I choose Arakali and Aberrat because we need defense from ignite and damage over time. So what to do after Acts? First of all, I don't recommend this build as your league starter, but if you took it as league starter, after Acts don't kill Kitawa in the last act and just farm haste for buying at least 5 or 6 link body armor, CoC Prismalize and Prism Guardian. It's only one right way to push your build in progress and make it work. After this you can start mapping and close your atlas. So what you need to buy first? In my opinion, the most important thing what you need to get first, it's a chaos damage defense with your energy shield. So first will be Coruscating Elixir, because we can't buy good body armor in the first days. Then you need 6 link body armor for a Cyclone setup. After this you need farm for CoC Prismalize and Prism Guardian. Next should be Crown and Circle of Fear ring. Then you need to buy jewels for the beginning, Replica Conqueror Efficiency and rare jewels from Pop. Next should be 6 link Sharon wrappings and you can swap Coruscating Elixir to Dying Sun. Also, I recommend to buy Presence of Chayula Amulet, then Unique Jewels and Cluster Jewels setup. After all of this, buy Thread of Hope with a large ring. The last item which makes you invincible will be Mage Blood. In the summary, as I said in the beginning, this build the most comfortable in the gameplay sense. It works almost like old cast when damage taken and you don't need to do extra try-harding moves, just right click and everybody will die on your way. So fast clearing speed, but not the best boss killer. But anyway, in the end game setup you can kill anyone from bosses from Sirius to Uber Elder. With this build you can make 100 million DPS with a good defense, which means it's a very strong build in all components. But it's not the best league starter. If this build will be your first character, you will have some problems, because some items you just can't buy or make in the first days, some jewels you can't buy in the beginning. Running Axe with freezing pulse, it's not so strong too, but you have no choice after all. If it's not your first character, it will works perfect, because you can collect everything to make it works. And the last, the ultra endgame items will be very expensive and you need to buy it if you want to close all contents, but in my opinion it's worth it. Super strong and super comfortable, and I enjoy to play with it every second. Write in the comments your questions about this build, like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for your support and goodbye, Exiles.